Good night. Narrator says it was a perfect night, I think it was. Something else we recall, Jessica.
The night had a son, which was the
Okay, the squire, yep. Do you remember anything about the squire? Other than he was a knight's son?
squire. He had a servant. I don't even remember what he looked like and stuff.
Okay, well, again, we'll go back and read that, but a knight, a squire, something else, Crystal?
The nun could speak French. She was like very like polite and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. And that's not something you told outright, that's something you gotta pick up on, so I'm glad you did. It was the nun, right, and she was very polite, very prim and proper. We'll come back to that, hopefully we'll get that part today. Something else, Dominic?
They were going on a pilgrimage to that church where that guy was murdered.
Good, all right, so who was that guy, you remember?
No.
Who remembers that guy? Thomas Becket, right, and he was the
Archduke.
Archbishop, yeah, the Archbishop of Canterbury. And the Archbishop of Canterbury is the head of the what? Head of the church, right, and at that time the head of the Catholic Church, the Church of England in England, okay? He's kind of like second in line to the Pope. All right, one more thing, something else, Grant, something else.
He was introducing all these characters for a one-year series of stories.
Yeah, tell me more about that. You remember anything else?
I don't know what you mean. Like, tell you more.
Yeah, let's see. Series of stories about what and
About
for
going
what?
to Canterbury.
Okay, yeah. Canterbury tells the frame story. You have stories inside of a story. The larger picture is all these people are making this pilgrimage, like I said, to Canterbury. On a smaller scale, you have little tiny stories inside. That's what the tales come from, the Canterbury Tales. And I think we talked about last or 2 weeks ago that Geoffrey Chaucer didn't finish the Canterbury Tales. He finished parts of them, and he actually finished, I think there was about 20, but he finished in their entirety. But on the whole, this would have been a massive work, probably as big as a novel, because you have 30-something pilgrims. They're going to tell 4 stories apiece. Put all that together. That's a lot of stories. So it was quite a massive, project that he was going to undertake. Didn't finish, died before it was over with. But what we have is the prologue, which we're reading now, and then about 20 or so of the tales themselves. We'll kind of piece that together as we go. Okay. Anything else? Questions about what you read so far? The vlog, we're going to kind of put that on a shelf for a little while. What I'm going to do is kind of make that almost like an independent study, homework type of thing, and you can finish that after we've read, because it would take us a long time to like read a Pilgrim, then write about it, and read a Pilgrim. So we'll kind of go read it in class, and on your own you can do the vlog, and that'll be your homework. Okay? Anything else? Other questions? All right, got the books pulled up now. Okay, so we won't read the very beginning of the prologue. What I'm going to do is jump to about line 43. We're going to start. I know we read the night in class, but that was 2 weeks ago, so we'll start there. I hope today to read the knight, squire, yeoman, and the monk. We'll see if time permits on that, but here we go. So, line 42. 42. There was a knight, a most distinguished man, who from the day on which he first began to ride abroad had followed chivalry, truth, honor, generousness, and courtesy. He had done nobly in his sovereign's war, and ridden into battle no man more, as well in Christian as in heathen places, and ever honored for his noble graces. When we took Alexandria, he was there. He often sat at table in the chair of honor, above all nations. When in Prussia, in Lithuania he had ridden, and Russia. No Christian man so often of his rank, when in Grenada Algeciras sank under assault, he had been there. In North Africa, raiding Benamarin and Anatolia, he had been as well, and fought when Aias and Natalia fell. For all along the Mediterranean coast he had embarked in many a noble host. In 15 mortal battles he had been, and jousted for our faith at Tremesen, thrice in the lists, and always killed his man. Let me stop there real quick. The list. You know what a list is? said he jousted in the lists. Yeah, you see your sign up there. Yeah, a list, you've seen in the joust, we have, like one horse starts on this end, one horse starts on this end, they ride toward each other. That area is just known as a list, and there's like a fence in between them, and to keep the horses from crossing each other's path, and that's all that is. 66. The same distinguished knight had led the van once with the Bay of Balat, doing work for him against another heathen Turk. He was of sovereign value in all eyes. And though so much distinguished, he was wise, and in his bearing modest as a maid. He never yet a boorish thing had said, in all his life to any, come what might, he was a perfect gentle knight. Speaking of his equipment, he possessed fine horses, but he was not gaily dressed. He wore a fustian tunic, stained and dark, with smudges where his armor had left mark. Just home from service, he joined our ranks to do his pilgrimage and render thanks. Treasure. Do you like the knight?
Yeah.
Why do you like the knight?
He seems nice. I mean, he seems like he's the right kind of knight, like not a bad knight. Like he seems like he's there to protect and fight for the rights of others.
Okay. He seems like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know?
The way he described him.
Can you find me an example?
Well, he said he's a perfect and gentle knight, but hold on, his other page. He was like, I don't know, he said something. That he was, and he had fought in battles before, and I think that there were battles to help for people.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Y'all, there's a lot of historical stuff in this text that's not really of interest to us necessarily, other than this to prove that he was, very accomplished in battle, like Treasure said. Okay, what did he wear? Heather Turner, what did he wear?
Like, his clothes are really dirty and stained, and smudges.
And was
They were
it
nice clothes.
okay? And what does that tell you about him?
That he was a hard worker and he fought a lot.
He doesn't have really nice clothes on, but he's a very accomplished knight. Should he wear nice clothes? Think he should?
I guess.
Just
He said he had fine horses, but he wasn't dressed very nice.
So, but I guess what I'm getting at is, but if he had fine horses, he was very accomplished in battle. I mean, this knight was kind of call him a general, I guess, but he was not dressed very nicely. So, go back to my original question. I'll ask it again. What does that tell you about him? Yeah, I'm sorry, Heather.
I guess kind of like, I don't know.
Tell you what, it's a good point we need to make, and I'm gonna let you talk to Morgan in just a second. We'll see what she thinks. Okay. All right. So here, of course, for everybody, what does that mean? The fact that he's got nice horses, he's very confident. He's a warrior, but he's not dressed very nicely. He's kind of dressed down. He doesn't even have armor on. What does that tell you about him? Let's talk to each other about that. What does that tell you about the knight? In fact, he's not very well dressed. Okay. Ready? Teach.
Okay.
just gonna bring some more here. Describe it. I working really hard. He's just got home. You don't want to get all dressed up to show someone.
All right, class. Yes. All right, so Morgan, tell me what Heather said just now.
Taylor said, I think he's just laid back. Just a little bit.
He's laid, all right, that's good, he's laid back. Clay, what did y'all say over there?
We said maybe he just doesn't want to wear his nice clothes and get dirty.
Maybe so, maybe he's saving his nice clothes for another occasion, right? Alex, what do you think? Hmm?
Jessica said that he's probably not in battle right now, that's why he's not wearing his armor and stuff.
True, true. Aaron, what do you think, or what did Dominic tell you?
Well, Dominic said maybe he just got back from war and he's not wearing his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, what's it? You remember in the story that I told you about the whole backstory, the assassination of the Archbishop, how the knights, when they showed up at the Canterbury Cathedral, left their armor outside? Okay, so armor and swords and stuff are a symbol of what? War. Yeah, symbol of war, symbol of battle. We're not going to war here, right? So, like y'all kind of got to, it kind of indicates to us that the knight he's kind of laid back at this point. Also, this is a religious pilgrimage. So, if our knight doesn't take his armor with him on this religious pilgrimage, does that tell you anything else about it? Anybody? Religious, right? Because and it even says he's going to do his pilgrimage and render thanks, as in going to give thanks for his well-being. Okay, moving on. Squire picks up on line 81. Might feel like reading the Squire.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
He had a son with him, a fine young squire, a lover and cadet, a lad of fire. With locks as curly as if they had been pressed, he was some 20 years of age, I guess. In stature he was of a moderate length, with wonderful agility and strength. He'd seen some service with the cavalry in Flanders and and Picardy, and had done valiantly in little space of time in hope to win his lady's grace. He was embroidered like a meadow bright and full of freshest flowers, red and white. Singing he was, or floating all the day. He was as fresh as the month of May. Short was his groom, the sleeves were long and wide. He knew the way to sit a horse and ride. He could make songs and poems and recite, knew how to joust and dance, to draw and write. He loved so hotly that till dawn grew pale, he slept as little as a nightingale. Courteous he was, lovely, loudly and serviceable, and carved to serve his father at the table.
Okay, let me add one thing to what Kevin just read. The part about carving, or carved to serve his father at the table. Y'all watched the little clip we did about the life of Squire, didn't you? Didn't we?
No.
We'll watch it later. A squire's job was to serve a knight. He's kind of like a knight servant. And the part about carving to serve his father at the table, he was a servant so much to the point where, knight gets a big slab of meat. Well, guess whose job was to cut it up for him? Squire's job. So that's what that refers to. All right. First impression about Squire. Cedric, what do you think?
He was, oh, he was fresh. That's the one for me.
All right. And what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means he was dressed nice.
Okay. Very good. Very good. What's your first impression of the Squire, Kevin?
Is that Kevin? It sounds like he works hard to do his job, because it says that he didn't sleep that much. Or it says he slept as little as a nightingale.
Okay.
And say he was courteous and serviceable.
Okay. Good.
I guess he was.
I'm building you out. I'm sorry, Kevin. Go ahead.
I was just kind of mumbling to myself, sorry.
I'm kind of building you up to something here. Okay. Let me get one more. Brandon, what do you think? I'm kidding. What do you think about the Squire so far? Give me a word to describe it. Just one word. You can pull out a text if you want to.
I guess he was serviceable.
Serviceable, okay. Serviceable, meaning he did his job, all right? Something about the Squire I'm setting you up for, okay? And I want you to see if you can find what I'm talking about. what was, aside from his serving the night, what was his other pastime? What occupied his time? Take just a second and dig in there. What did he do? What did he do?